Come on now. Y'all already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself, baby. Rob.
I'm sorry. It's tradition at this point.
It
Look,
is.
hey,
It
it's
really is.
tradition
No,
at
it
this
is.
point.
That's how I was waiting on it. That's why I was like, there you go. Look, man, we had a lot of crazy things that has happened this week of wrestling. Okay, so we got to go ahead and kick it off and start it off with the 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire with Monday Night Raw, baby. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I loved what Monday Night Raw was, man. I ain't gonna lie. Loki, so much stuff was going on. I almost forgot. Felt like Raw was like literally last week. But man, look, I'm gonna tell you, I loved what Raw did because what happened? We kicked it off with the visionary, the architect, the Monday Night Messiah himself, Seth Rollins. Man, I mean, he's out here telling everybody it's his time. First of all, Paul Heyman was really on some, just giving a top performance and just a top tier promo talking about Braun Breaker. Even broke down the stuff that happened with Seth and Bronson Reed. Love how he did that. And Seth talked about how he's going to be winning that Money in the Bank. Funny, the one the crowd tried to call him a sellout. Trying to say, you sold out. Seth was like, what you talking about? This has been me. This ain't nothing new. And then what happened? Made the crowd change and just sing his song, man. Look, Seth, you got it, bro. It's amazing. But I love what that man's doing. Then we flash forward to triple threat match. And honestly, greatness. Two luchadors. We had my man Penta, we had Dragon Lee, and we had also Chad Gable. Also, I was hoping to see maybe the greatest luchador of all time, El Grande Americano, but it's okay. We got Chad. We see Penta getting the dub and now qualified himself for that Money in the Bank ladder match. Then we flash forward to Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day. Man, look, we already popped it off with this.
Look at Carlito's face.
That's what I'm saying. But look, Roxanne out here giving Dirty Dom the Walmart chicken tendies.
Facts.
Okay. You know, and who comes? Who? You know, she's out here trying to say, "Oh, you know, let me get something on your shoulder. Let me rub on your shoulder." Who comes through? Who just popped?
Carlito.
Come on, bro. You see what it was? Who was it? That girl, Liv, man. Liv comes back. Now, Dom trying to say, "Oh man, I'm so glad you're here." Liv said, "Look, it don't matter what you talking about. Raquel already told me what's going on. I already know what's happening.
Snitch.
I'm trying to get a qualifying match." What happens later on? She starts to have a match with Kyrie saying, we're going to get into that. Then we flash forward to a really good triple threat tag team match. It was the New Day going against the War Raiders, going against the Creed brothers. And honestly, love what the New Day's been doing, man. You know, the New Day's out here getting, literally just getting the crowd to just hate them. But I love how they just snuck that W, literally just retained the titles. Looked good. Then we flash forward to Jay. Jay, man, look, I ain't gonna lie. This whole thing with Jay and Gunther, man, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Jay Uso is out here telling us, you know, I can beat you again, Gunther. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing. I'm gonna handle my business with Money in the Bank, and then on Monday, the next night, I'm gonna handle you on Raw. It's kind of crazy. We're not seeing this.
No, did he? Holy crap!
Yeah, that was crazy.
Handle you raw.
That was crazy. That was crazy. That was great. I never. Oh my god,
Yo,
that was crazy. That was crazy. That's
Jesus,
that's a
Jay, come
pause
on,
on that.
man.
That was a pause.
Jesus Christ, Jay, what are we doing, man?
so so Jay's out here doing what he does. 4 letters, one word. Yeet gets the crowd going crazy. Then we flash forward to Liv Morgan and Kyrie Sane. Now, great match overall is happening. Roxanne Perez tries to interfere and help Liv Morgan. Knocks down Kyrie Sane. Raquel, for some reason, is pissed off that Roxanne did this. And what happens? Man, you already know what happens, man. Kyrie Sane rolled up the pin, got Liv, got the dub. That's how I was looking, man. Then we flash forward to Lyra, Valkyrie, man, and the man, Becky Lynch. And honestly, we are still going strong with this feud, man. I mean, Lyra is saying how, Becky, she just couldn't take seeing Becky taking another opportunity for the money in the bank, and that's why she pulled her out of that match. And Becky comes out and says, I did everything I was supposed to do. In NXT, when you got that roll-up pin on me, I raised your hand with honor, and gave you that moment. And Lyra says that don't really matter because they're all talking about me because I beat you. I'm better. I'm bigger. I ain't gonna be on no Hollywood tricks if I could. And that's how we're looking, man. I think we're seeing something going really good with them. Then we flash forward to the main event. Now this was chaotic. I don't care what nobody say. Okay, this was Finn versus Seth versus Sammy. And honestly, this was an awesome match. You want to talk about this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, this was. Okay. We had Sammy. Sammy about to get the dub on Seth. Even how that whole sequence happened. Okay, Seth hits Finn. Then Sammy Haluva kicks Seth, knocks him down, tries to get the pin. Braun pulls him out. Now Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker are beating the hell out of Sammy. Then Jey Uso comes out. Now he's out here whooping ass, yeeting it up. Hits Seth, hits Braun, hits Bronson. Then who else comes out? Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom's out here. Tries to slide the chair to Finn. Same thing like last week. Try to help him out. Slides the chair. But too late. Wow. Seth gets that that curb stop right to the steel chair. Literally hits him with the 1, 2, 3. And now qualified. And punches his ticket, as they like to say, for Money in the Bank. Then what happens? CM Punk. He comes down. Looking, and they didn't even know what was going on. CM Punk goes there, hits Seth Rollins with a go to sleep, then runs out, goes to the crowd. They're trying to find him. And this is the finish. Right here. Man. Now, to be honest, I'd be capping if one of my favorite things to see was, of course, the visionary, the architect, the Monday Night Messiah, man. He killed it. He did his thing with this, man. I love how they kind of painted the picture with him already, kind of telling us he was going to win that Money in the Bank briefcase. And honestly, like I was saying before, bro, I really think they're going to run this back from 2015 and let my man Seth get that Money in the Bank again, man. I think he's my pick for that. And I think it's just because so much just how poetic this man is talking about this stuff. I feel like the nuggets have been planted. Now, do I have to feel like I maybe have to go back and watch some stuff? Possibly. Who knows how much stuff Seth's been saying for the last few months. But I don't know, man. This is one of those. I'm like, Seth, you might have this one. But I love what they did. I loved because I was saying also, I think my two favorite storylines of Raw right now, what's going on with Seth and what's going on with Dirty Dom. Because what's going on with Dirty Dom played a big picture of what happened in the triple threat match tonight. Well, that night. Because what I love what Dirty Dom's doing right now, everybody knows this whole thing. My man got it all. My man had money. Okay, my man has lit. Now you might have a prodigy. The way you looking, man, you out here looking crazy, Dirty Dom. I mean, but I get it. You the greatest Mysterio of all time. This is what you could do. Your dad used to do some stuff like this. Not like you, though. You Dirty Dom, boy. That's different. You a different Mysterio. But I love what they're doing with this. And I'm curious to see what they do because even backstage, when Liv had lost to Kyrie Sane, she was kind of mad at Raquel. She said, Raquel, you the vet. I expected you to do more. Didn't say nothing to Roxanne. Walked off. So I'm wondering what are they gonna do with this? I like first of all, I like to see the three women together. I think this is gonna be good. But it's interesting. I like what they're doing. I can't be mad about it. I think they're cooking up. But mainly, I think the whole show is great. Of course, love to see what Lyra's doing with the man. But again, Seth, you're killing it. You are killing it, man. Look, keep doing what you're doing. I love what they did with it. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, very similar to what you just said. The two biggest takeaways for me for Raw was definitely the stuff going on with Dirty Dom and his involvement in Finn Balor's match. I like to see what I think is story progression here in this match, especially when it comes to the story of Dirty Dom and Finn Balor, and then this passive aggressive like battle for control of Judgment Day. Finn Balor has been doing his little thing on the slide, trying to get introduce a new member in Roxanne after months of saying no, they don't need an extra member. And then it's kind of throwing everything into like the fray in a sense of Roxanne is now being introduced into the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez doesn't want her there. Dom is like, he's kind of like accepting of her, but we're waiting to see how Liv is, but Liv at the same time is like, I don't know, she's on the fence about it, or she's kind of accepting it because she got on Raquel the week before for not got on Raquel for not helping her in her Money in the Bank qualifier. So it's interesting to see like where this is going to go, because I was thinking that Finn Balor would be on his way out of the Judgment Day, and apparently there's still that doesn't seem to be the case. But I do like what was going on. I like the fact that Dirty Dom involved himself in the match this week, threw the chair in. Of course, it was half-hearted. It was kind of like a payback to Finn for what he did a couple weeks back, where he went and got a chair to try to attack someone when at the time he was helping Dirty Dom. So it looked like he took his time. But this week, Dirty Dom, who hasn't been involved in any of Finn's matches for the last couple of weeks, finally shows up at a time like this, and it ends up screwing Finn Balor. So you just have this story that just keeps developing, which is good. And so that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. Seth is pretty much running Raw, so anything he does right now, especially with him, Paul Heyman, and the rest of the factions that they got growing there, is going to be the highlight of the night, because we're all trying to see where this is going to go. Right now it is Monday Night Rollins.
It is Monday Night Rollins. It definitely was a solid Raw. And the vision is what I'm thinking they're leaning towards with the name here. They haven't said it officially yet, but he kind of mentioned it in his promo when he was just like, this is, my vision, vision. So I think that's what they're going to eventually go to. They just haven't made it official yet. I mean, and they could change it, but I like what they have together as a group right now. And I know it's still kind of developing, so I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. So I want to see how this plays out. And seeing Seth win or get into the Money in the Bank is definitely scary for a lot of those guys that are in there, because hey, look, Seth is on fire right now. So if they want to like have him hold on to that title and just hold on to the Money in the Bank and hold somebody hostage until the time is right, this is something that we gotta watch out for. And who knows? I mean, he may try to cash in that night with two champions in the ring in a tag team match. So if he wins, that's something you gotta keep your eye on if that ends up going down. So love everything they're doing, and they have kept Raw very entertaining the last couple of weeks. Dirty Dom, on the other hand, his star just keeps rising no matter what. Everybody, I seen the meme out there where they said, hey, women's championship from 2005, women's championship now, Dirty Dom. I mean, that's That's this
That makes a
man.
lot of sense.
This man is becoming a legend right in front of our eyes. It's such a beautiful thing to watch. I never thought that fathead kid that first came out there wrestling with Rey Mysterio was going to be who he is now. This man he done trimmed down, got the long hair. He's got swag, man, and it's
That
just
mustache.
and he's sometimes he's so innocent, like when he does things, but he's got swag and he's innocent at the same time. I don't know how he's doing both. He's just making it happen. So shout out to Dirty Dom. I do have to say, on two promo fronts, and look, as much as I know people love Becky Lynch and her promos have gotten better, but I can't. Every time she talks, I turn the TV. I don't care about Becky Lynch and what she has to say. I'm sorry. That's just who I am at the point when it comes. I have nothing I want to hear from Becky. So I'm just like, all I hear is yabble dabble dooble. Bobble boo boo babble. I don't want to hear any of that. And it's just I'm over it. Get out of here. I don't care. Now, I had a friend of mine that reached out to me, and I would play y'all the voice message, but I'd have to find it. And he says, "When do we end this?" I said, "What are you talking about, man?" He said, "When do we end the era of terror?" And I'm like, "Era of terror?" He was like, "The reign that is Jey Uso." And I said, "Is it that bad?" He said, "Man, I want them to take the title off this man right now." And I'm like, "Right now?" I said, "Why so bad, man?" And he says, "The man cannot cut a promo to save his life." And when he sent me the promo for Monday, and I didn't really pay attention to it at the time, but as I was looking at it, I said, I understand exactly how he feels right now. His promo was not good. They tend to get worse each week. And he doesn't know what to say. And it feels like he's like trying to figure it out. He stumbles over his words. And look, I know the Yeet Factory is big time right now, but man, it's hard to have a champion that don't know how to cut a decent promo. That's something that's got to get fixed if you're Jey Uso. It's bad. And until he really brought it to my attention this week, I knew it was happening. But when he reset and said, "Darrell, just pay attention to it," and I listened and I said, "I see your complaint, sir. I see why you're upset. I think Jey Uso's not doing a terrible job as champion, but you've got to fix that. Your promo skills right now, it's not working out. So that's something I would definitely like to see different from the champ. I mean, I still think it's still early in the reign where it can be fixed, but man, get better, Jey. Just get better, brother. It's bad.
He was good when it was him and Jimmy. I think I don't know, man. I think I see what you're saying. There are times, and I feel like he's just doing them geek sessions too much, like for too long.
Yeah, he gets tired. He gets out there.
Breath.
He's so pumped up on adrenaline by the time he gets out there that it's like, hey, and it's like he's trying to recoup. And you can tell they tried to adjust it a little bit because he would get in the ring and he kind of calms down a little bit. Then he does a little bit more Yeet session, but then he's just out of breath. He's like, "I'm glad to be here." And it's like, "Well, dude,
take an inhaler. Get an inhaler.
Get in there." So I just want to see that, from him. And I want to see that get a little bit better. But Raw overall was good for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't really have any complaints about Raw. I think Raw was definitely really good this week. Definitely like to see, it's good to see Kairi Sane come back. Good to see her, back again another week. But again, Seth, you was the one, not the two for Raw, man. I tell you, man, you really showed up and showed out this week. Sammy, you are the lovable loser, bro. And honestly, more and more, I keep thinking, is he going to still be the one to join Seth? I don't know, man. I don't know. But, we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw. Now, it's time to talk about some of the shocking things that happened with NXT with Shawn Michaels. Don't know if he's really cooking it up, but we're going to give him that anyway.
Nah, he was kicking kids.
He was doing something. I think the kitchen might have been on fire last week.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, "Hey man, we got to put this fire out." It was like that. It was like that episode of The Office when Dwight put the
with the
put the
swinging,
put the floor. Yeah, he put the
Yeah,
fire in there, and everybody went chaotic. That's what
Exactly.
NXT was last week.
Yeah, it really, man. Look, let's go ahead and get right into it. Sean. You know, any other time I would come up here and say you was cooking up, but this was not. I think you was off today. You had to be off, or did you? Did you work half a day? What was going on, Sean? Did you take too long of a lunch break? Were you on too more? Were you on maybe a 30 and not a 15? I'm trying to figure this out, Sean, because you really, bro. Let's get started off. All right. We kicked off the show with, first of all, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. This immediately was chaotic. Okay, Ethan Page didn't even let my man Mike Romano finish, saying everybody's name, doing the no. Nah, Ethan Page just literally jumped into it. And of course, why do you have security trying to break them up when this is a match? Then you have security break them up a few times before the match got started. Okay, cool. They did a spot. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page take Ricky Saints, toss him into the folding end of the steel chair, and it was a nice real look that they gave for Ricky Saints to sell. He sold that very, very well. And let me come across Ethan Page getting the dub and winning the NXT North American champion. But we don't look. It's just getting started here. Then we flash forward to Mike Santana. Okay, the Puerto Rican Boricua from the Bronx, debuting and getting the dub over Tavion Heights from the No Quarter Catch crew, and honestly looked good, really good. When he got the dub, I ain't gonna lie, Tavion even got up, and good old Charlie Dempsey sitting there giving him a shake, shaking his head, just disappointment. Hey, I get it. 2 of your people lost. The last time was Miles. Now it's just Tavion. So I get it. But we flash forward to. Come on now.
That's trick.
Man, come on now. Look, what he got right there? Because there's a couple things. If you look at the mic, look at his mic. You see NXT? You see that? Yeah, because he's bigger than NXT. He's bigger than WWE. He's bigger than TNA. This is Hollywood trick.
This is crazy work. Never thought I'd see today. Thought I'd see today.
This was good. The promo he cut. Oh, man, come on. Trick, you did your thing. But who comes out? Mike Santana. The Puerto Rican Boricua from the Bronx comes out and says, Trick, you're a pretender. You're a pretend fighter. You pretend wrestler. You pretend rapper. And he even said you're a pretend dress. Like, even the way how you dress is pretend. Wearing those heels.
Lemon pepper steppers.
Man, Trick said, stop playing. I will take the lemon pepper steppers off and show you what time it is. I said, man, Trick, stop playing with him.
That's diabolical, man.
He was doing good. Man, look, I like what Trick's doing. But what happens? Santino Morale comes on the screen and he says that they're going to have a match next week on Impact for that TNA champion. We're going to see what happens. Then we flash forward to Jada Parker and Tatum Paxton. Honestly, this was a great match. If it is Jada Parker, what are we talking about? This is Tatum Paxton. What are we talking about? Okay. Great match how they did it. What I loved what they did. Tatum Paxton had 2 of the dolls. Of course, we know those 2 dolls are Gigi Dolan and Shotzi Blackheart. Because, the orange, the doll with the orange hair and the doll with the green hair. Come on, y'all. Put it together. But Jada Parker grabs the Gigi Dolan doll and tosses it across the ring. Tatum gets so distracted, she starts to cry. Jada hits her with a hip check, and that's just how we're looking. Jada gets the dub, man. We got to get this girl a championship or something, man. We can't be doing this, Jada Parker. Man. Don't squander her.
Disrespect, man.
That's crazy.
This crazy.
I know a championship she should have had.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. We're gonna talk about this. Then we flash forward to Jasper Troy debuting and getting the dub, and just this was
the chain gang. The chain gang.
yeah, original. And Obafemi
The
comes
one-man
out,
chain gang.
the ruler, and he says, I respect what you're doing. He said, at least I gave you the proper respect to actually tell you to your face that you had a good match, unlike you, how you attacked me from behind. He said, I'm not a coward, but he will be waiting for him, and he is ready. And honestly, for Jasper Troy, don't give that man no title. Please.
Man, if he wins,
the man just got here.
I'm gonna be pissed.
He just got here. Why are you putting him up against Obafemi? Come on, man. This is what I'll be talking about, man. You can't be putting up no scrub against the ruler.
No.
Come on, man. Then we flash forward to Ethan Page. And in my opinion, this is crazy. How you have a title match in the beginning of the show, and you come out in the middle of the show, suit and all, ready to call a promo about you and your title reign. This is insane, bro.
That ain't clean, though.
Carrying the title the way he loves to carry the title. I love it.
Man, I'm telling you.
It.
The ego way.
The ego. But who comes out? That boy that gets bouncy. The young OG. Man, look. The young OG comes out. Tells him, look, Worlds Collide. It's you and me. North American champion. Actually, it's triple threat. Who comes out? My man. From the AAA. Man, come on. Laredo Kid, man. He comes out. Cuts a promo. Tells him, like, look, I'm up next. And I promise you I'll be that one to take that North American title. But who comes out and lets us know that it's not going to be a triple threat. It's going to be a fatal four-way. And that is that man, Rey Fénix, the man that kicks with precision, the man that is precise. You can't tell me this ain't one of the best luchadors. Besides El Grande Americano.
Of course.
But still, Rey Fénix coming out. And now it's declared that it is a fatal four-way match at Worlds Collide for that North American title. Then we flash forward to the main event, bro.
Oh, my God.
Now, look, Sean, I ain't gonna lie, man. This was a shocker. Because what happens? You had a bunch of people that didn't even know what was going on. Y'all didn't even tell my man, Mike Romano, what was going on. Look at Jason. She's happy. Mike don't know what's going on. The crowd don't know what's going on. Mike's in shock. This dude's in shock. Stephanie looks hurt. She looks upset. JC James all happy. Man, I hate to even see La Primera like this.
This is disrespectful.
The aura off of Stephanie ain't changed, but this is how it is. And this is the finish. Right here.
Man, I'm telling you.
Now, we want to talk about a couple of things. Sean, what the hell were you doing this week? Some of the stuff I understand. If you're trying to call some people up, I get it. But why didn't we do this on the PLE?
Mm-hmm.
What was this? Okay, look. First things first. God, no, I'm playing. First things first. Y'all killed me with this Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. This is what we talked about before. Y'all are literally just hot potatoing this North American title. And I'm sick of this. That title has prestige. You're talking about the people that held that title. The first North American champion. The best one of the best. Come on, stop playing with him. Adam Cole, baby. Keith Lee. Bask in his glory. The man that's got the best elbow and the best knees. Roderick Strong. I didn't give the 3-week title reign to Leon Ruff. But my man Johnny Gargano. These are names and title reigns that had some. Now, I ain't going to say nothing about Leon Ruff. That was just what it is. But we're talking about the caliber of these title reigns that meant something. Hell, Ricochet.
Velveteen Dream.
Come on.
The Dream is alive.
Y'all are really out here hot potato in this title. Like it's, oh, here you go. Oh, nah. Here you go. Oh, nah. Here you go. Nah. What are you doing this whole 6-week title reign thing for? This is crazy. Another thing. Because after this, I'm going to let y'all go. Because, Sean. Now, maybe I got 2 more things. I'm going to go with the positive before I go with the last negative. That's what I'm going to do. Hollywood Trick. Let's get to it. Trick. You killed it. I love what you did. You went heel. When the crowd tried to cheer, you said, nah, because if my memory
Yeah.
serves me correct, if it
Yeah.
serves me correct, a lot of y'all was singing the Joe Hendry song.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, Trick.
Keeping
Booker T out there,
receipts.
yeah. Not playing. No bread, no water, just
Just
business.
mean.
See? Crazy. And I said to myself, Trick, this is good. What I love how they did, I mean, even with him and Mike Santana, y'all cooked with that. That was perfection. I love how Trick sounded. I like how Trick looked. Pause. Came out there with the cowboy joint. I mean, that was dope. That was dope. Yeah, Trick gets the look every time. He's got it. Hollywood Trick. Now, at this point, take the Trick Williams thing off. He's Hollywood Trick. Just do that. That he is solidified. And I think the aura on him is different. The swag is different. How he's carrying himself, how he's talking. I like it. I like what he's doing. Even his promo he cut on Impact. Come on. I said, man, this dude is really feeling this now. Like, he's getting there. He's hitting levels. All right, now we talked about the positives. Let's talk about the BS that we had at the main event. So, Sean, I know I said we need to do something with JC Jane. I did not say the NXT Women title on her immediately. I did not say that, Sean. I didn't. You didn't have to do this, but in ways I understand why they did it. Okay? First of all, what y'all did was ridiculous. You have Stephanie Vaquer win at the PLE against Jordan Grace. Then to have her lose on NXT to JC Jane. Now, I get it. Again, y'all been planting these seeds for some weeks now. I'll give y'all a history list. For the last few weeks, we have been seeing the argument with JC Jane and Fallon Haley all this time. Oh, it's going to be, I'm going to take a title shot. I'm going to get a title shot. Whole time, this has been an argument they've been talking about. Oh, well, you lost to Steph. I've never lost. I've never even faced her. This has been the thing they've been saying for a while. I never thought y'all was going to sit here and play this into this now. Like right now. Now, again, I get it. You want to give the title reign a heel. JC Jane's that perfect thing. She's going to be that perfect heel that when you can have Jordan Grace, which has already been involved with Fatal Influence. You got somebody like Jordan Grace that can take that time. You had somebody like Jada Parker that could have took that time. Now, we know Julia wasn't going to take it because, Julia where she at now, SmackDown, okay. But not Jada Parker? Not Jordan Grace? I'm not now again. To put on JC Jane, it makes sense. To me, I get it. That girl's been there longer than the last two women I just named. She's been there for 4 years. And the worst thing is, JC Jane has played second fiddle twice. And she didn't have to. The first time I understood, that was Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose went crazy with that NXT title reign. Okay, cool. Mandy Rose is gone. But then you tell this story, right? With JC Jane coming back, trying to do something. She brought back Chase U. She did all the stuff with Chase U, involved in stuff with the Tony D'Angelo family. Oh, did we forget about that? I think a lot of people did. Because again, JC Jane was doing a lot of work that was just perfect. And then what happens? She gets in the group. Fatal Influence. Oh, boom. And it looked like JC Jane was the leader. But what happened? She played second fiddle again to Fallon Haley. And we talked about this before. Why did you put the NXT North American Women's title on Fallon Haley? Take it off her and put it on Steph. Y'all really just did some wild stuff. But again, JC Jane should have never been second fiddle in this group. Now, I say this to Sean multiple times on the show. Then you listen, then you pull this. Now I got people blaming me for this. I don't got time for this, Sean. This is crazy, man. Look, I don't know, man. Look, I think they could really do something with this. But then the fact that y'all pulled this and then Adam Pearce goes on social media 15 minutes before SmackDown and says, oh, by the way, Stephanie Vaquer just became a member to the Raw main roster, and she's going to be in the qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. Well, we know who's going to be that last entry, so I'm going to just tell you that. Mr. Xclusive, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, so many thoughts. It's just so many thoughts.
Sick of it.
So many thoughts. Look, this Boy, this NXT was so chaotic. And I know we talked about it a little bit ago. It just felt like that episode of The Office where everything was just going wrong, or could go wrong, went wrong, and why it went wrong, and all that stuff. Starting off with Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. You guys made a great point about, you know, the North American title and its prestige, and it's slowly starting to lose that, man. I do not like the way this title is bouncing around right now. Like, and it is just NXT as a whole. Like, these title reigns are not living up to nothing. Julia has the belt for like 3 or 4 weeks. You know, Stephanie Vaquer has it for about a month and some change, maybe 2 months. And then, you know, it's just like no one can hold on to these titles. The North American title has changed hands 4 times this year, I believe. We've had Shawn Spears, Ricky Saints, and now Ethan, and there was somebody who before Shawn Spears, it was the Don, and before then it was the Ruler. So we've had like a new champ each month this year, and it's just like the title changes are happening too frequently. Who's going to take that title and take it to the next level? I just don't like the switching. It's way too much switching. Now, I understand some of these switches have to happen because people are moving up. There's a rumor that Ricky Saints could be moving up. I don't like that idea of him moving up. I think it's too early, personally. I mean, will he be able to talk on the next level? For sure. But I don't think they had time for people to really get a chance to know him on this level, if that is the case. If you're going to move somebody up, Ethan Page should have been the one that's moved up, because Ethan Page has kind of built a little something down there. And I could see that before I see Ricky Saints. But, I digress. You know, that could be a Cody call. That could be a Cody call. They like third cousins or something like that. So that part, and I'm a big Ego fan. I think Ego probably should have had the belt in the first place and let him run with it if you're not going to have the Don with the title, or so on and so on. So that kind of, aggravated me a little bit. Then we go to Trick. Man, I tell you what, Trick Williams is killing it right now.
I'm telling you, man.
Hollywood Trick. And look, here's the thing, and a lot, for those who don't watch TNA, maybe not as much. When he came on TNA, he cut a nice little promo. He wasn't there, but he was like via satellite, and he said, "I know you guys want me to be there." And he talked about how whatever the town they was in, because this is a town I never heard of before, and he pretty much was like, "I'm not coming there. Why would I be there?" And he just went on and on about that, and I love that for Trick. The one thing we wanted from this rivalry with TNA, or this partnership with TNA and NXT, is to finally see somebody take the title and, on one of the brands and go from there. Now, to make this complete, somebody from TNA has to take an NXT title. That has to happen at some point.
Probably
so
the North American title, because you know how that goes.
Yeah. And I love this. I love seeing Trick with the title. And now it's interesting to see what happens with Joe Hendry, because now a lot of people are saying that he's about to make the leap to WWE and maybe even a main roster spot at that point in time. So that's something we got to keep an eye out for. The only other thing that, two things I want to talk about, then I'll run away on this. One is Jada Parker. I'm afraid that Jada Parker is about to get the Lola Vice treatment. And if we were looking at this time last year, Jada Parker and Lola Vice were probably the 2 hottest women. And I'm not just talking about looks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the 2 hottest women in the game at the aura at the time. Like they both had a different swag. They had
Latina heat.
Yeah, they had a little rivalry going on, but they both were cooking, and we if you'd have asked us last year, like, oh, they're gonna have a title reign probably here soon. They're gonna be in that mix here soon. Lola got 1 title shot, and then after that, it just kind of disappeared. Parker's had 3 title shots?
3 or 4. I think
3 or 4 title shots, maybe a North American title shot in there. Can't bring in the big one. And it's crazy for somebody who is as popular as she is. They promote the heck out of her. Right next to Stephanie, she's probably they're neck. Before Stephanie got there, Jada was getting that love, and then it was like kind of neck and neck. And who gets to jump beforehand? Stephanie. Stephanie gets to go up before Jada. They both were in the Rumble. I don't hear no rumblings of Jada Parker making that leap. I don't have no rumblings of her going to the next level. And if you're not going to give her a title, I need her on that mid-card title picture on the next level. I don't like the way this is going. And yes, I trust Shawn Michaels wholeheartedly, but I don't like the way this is going for her. I don't like the way things are going for Lola Vice. And the 2 women who I thought have done a really good job. And look, JC James, by all means, great heel. But I'm not interested in JC Jane versus Fallon Haley or whatever the girl name is here in the next, and because we all know that's what's coming. They're going to have a title match. I don't care about that, and I know there's some fans out there that do. It won't be me. I don't care about that match. I don't. So I just want to see NXT kind of gather themselves back here. A lot of chaos going on. Too many title changes. You throw AAA in the mix. You're throwing TNA in the mix. It's just a whole circle of just this. Now, it's going to keep us watching. We ain't going to stop watching because that's how entertaining the product is right now. But I think at some point you have to start to reel it back in and kind of start building your stars the way you were building them before to an extent. You bringing all these new people in just to eventually move them up. You're just like a quick stepping stone and popping them on the main roster. If that's the case, just throw them on the main roster at this point, because they're taking away opportunities from people who have been building there, and the Jadas and the Lola Vices. And I even say the JC Janes, those people who have been there for a while are not, they've been pushed to the back burner for all the newbies. And the other word is Jordan Grace is about to go to SmackDown. So she's had multiple title matches that some people never got title matches, and she about to go to the main roster. So, yeah. Sean, I love you, man, but y'all got to fix this. You're still greatness. I'm still going to watch, but you got to wrangle that thing in just a little bit. No Diddy.
Yeah, thank you. Because I did
sound crazy. It sounded really bad. Woo! Woo!
Oh, man. Heartbreak Prince, what's your thoughts, man? What you got?
I'm going to start with what I hated the most or disliked the most, and that's the JC Jane match for her becoming the NXT Women's Champion. I just did not care for it. I feel like JC Jane, I know they have been planting seeds in the past, but my problem is exactly with what you talked about earlier. She's always been second fiddle and has played second fiddle. And so for her to come out of nowhere and all of a sudden is able to take down La Primera, a lady that's been having one of the hottest rides in NXT from out of nowhere, it's just, to me, it's diabolical. Especially when you had the match that Jordan Grace just put on 2 nights prior and wasn't able to overcome, La Primera, and we have JC Jane out of nowhere. I would have preferred us to get somebody that we've been seeing being pushed, such as a Jada Parker. If you're going to have to say, well, hey, La Primera has to drop the belt because she's getting ready to be signed to a main roster. Well, drop the belt to the next or the next most hottest female wrestler or pushed wrestler in NXT, Jada Parker, and then you have a story where JC Jane and Fallon Henley and the rest of them can bicker, fight, have whatever match they want to see who goes on and face Jada Parker or whatever. But I did not care for the pick of Jada Parker. Now, the shock factor, if that's what you're looking for and that's what you're trying to get, like anything can happen on NXT, fine. Mm-hmm. That's all fine and dandy. But I still think you could have got that same shock factor if you would have had Jada Parker beat La Primera to go on to the thing. Like I said, I just feel like more of a story, more time with JC Jane in the spotlight would have been necessary for me to be able to care about JC Jane being the NXT Women's Champion. Because, see, we've already been fed Jada Parker, and she's been shoved down our throat. So we've kind of started to cheer and root for someone like Jada Parker. And so JC Jane, she's always been in the background. Fallon Henley got the North American Championship before JC Jane even sniffed it. Or even had JC Jane hasn't even had an opportunity. So for her to just be tossed in and all of a sudden she's the NXT Women's Champion, I don't care for it. But we'll see what happens. Like you say, we trust Sean. Sean has a plan. He has a reason for the way he does things, and that's fine. And we as fans can't always get what we want too. So there's a reality of that as well. Sometimes you're going to go with the less expected pick or the person that's not the most popular. But I feel like Mr. Xclusive was saying, when this stuff like this starts to happen, you start to see people like a Jada Parker go fall by the wayside. Sort of like we saw what happened with Last Legends and what happened with her. She kind of, fell by the wayside. Like when you start seeing people come in and then jump people that have been in NXT delivering these banger matches, you start to get concerned. And now, like I said, Jada might be getting ready to fade into obscurity with the stuff that they have her doing now. She's not even really even talking about being a main player, and she told us her time was now. And so,
That's what she said.
it's one of those things that just, I don't know. It's a controversial pick, and it is what it is. And like I said, I don't have anything against JC Jane. I just feel like more of a story needed to develop around her for me to be able to be like, she's a good pick to be
just tossing stuff.
And then also, and just to go back down, I don't mind what happened with Ricky Saints and Ego. I know we talk about the championship changing hands a lot, and that is a problem. That is an issue, because you do want championships to have that prestige. You want them to have that relevancy. And sometimes it takes long title reigns in order for you to be able to establish that, versus it being passed around like the 24-hour champion or whatever the belt they used to have.
24/7 champion.
24/7 champion. Championships. But I feel like Ricky Saints, because we were talking about this a little bit before we came on, and we was like, well, who's going to be the extra person from Raw? And this could be a slot where Ricky Saints fits in, or it could be that Ricky Saints is getting ready to move on to the main title picture with Oba. So to me, I think there's some opportunities there for Ricky Saints, and that's why the him losing the title after having it for just a few weeks doesn't bother me as much, because honestly, I didn't know or feel like Ricky Saints would probably be on NXT for that long, because he's too good. He's good on the mic. He's good. A good wrestler in the ring. And I feel like he's one of those people that probably had to just do a quick run at NXT to learn how WWE likes to film and do their type of wrestling style before he went on to the main roster. And I would not be surprised if he showed up on Monday Night Raw and is the in the bank in the Money in the Bank qualifier. And I wouldn't be surprised also if he win, with the way things have been going as well with WWE and all of these NXT people moving up to the main roster. You've got Roxanne, you've got Julia. We can almost write the check that La Primera is going to be the entrant in the Money in the Bank qualifiers. So that's going to happen. So we'll see. But lastly, Trick is doing his thing. Love it. Happy for Trick. Hollywood Trick is legit. And what I loved was that he was quick on his feet this week when when old Santana went on, was getting on him about the way he dressed and the heels that he was wearing, and he pulled out the lemon pepper steppers, man. Trick, I got to give it to him. He's in his bag and he's been doing his thing. So keep it up. You're doing good work, man. Keep it up.
Fellas, before we roll, or before we go to the next topic, I got some breaking news here. This is coming from Ron R-Truth's Twitter page. He says, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who has been along with me for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." This is from Ron. This is from R-Truth's official page. Now, a lot of people are saying that my man is getting June 1st mixed up with April 1st. So it could be a April Fool's joke, but it is making the rounds quick. And he posted it on his official page. It's got over 370,000 views. Wow. He hasn't responded back from it yet. Some people are saying, well, I still see him in the
roster,
the alumni section. And he said until they see him in the alumni section, they're not saying anything different. But he says he's been released. But yeah, fans are not. Some people are like, nah, that ain't true. They ain't trying to hear none of that. But it's,
or maybe he's coming back as Little Jimmy.
It could be that, but
or Ron Cena, who knows?
And it could be Ron Cena, but I mean, I had to go and double because when you were talking, it popped up on my phone. I said that can't be real. But he just posted it maybe 20 minutes ago, and he's saying that he's been released. Now, there's a part of me that
I hope this is not true. I don't know whether I don't know.
It better not be.
It's good. It's or
somebody said truth. It's not April Fool's. It's Pride Month. You're getting them mixed up. That's what somebody said. And so, oh, wait a minute. So Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful, the Fightful folks .com. He's the R-Truth tweet is accurate. It is not a hack or an accident. He will be leaving WWE when his deal expires. So he is leaving. Now, they didn't say when his deal expires, but it's legitimately true. He is leaving. I don't know. But and he's usually pretty solid in the game.
Yeah.
So that's wow.
That's very shocking.
That is shocking.
Yeah, I mean, and look, he is 54 years old. Like, truth is up there. So I mean, if he wanted to leave on his own terms, yes, I can understand that. But he posted it like, they obviously don't want him back. It's what it sounds like. They don't want him back, and so he's done.
Not renewing his contract.
He's not going to renew his contract.
Which is crazy because y'all call him the national treasure. You mean to tell me you don't want Ron Cena back?
This is really. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Job he can have.
I mean, he can. That's what I'm saying. He can't be behind the mic. Like, you can't put him on commentary.
You can't have him on NXT.
Put him on
helping some of these people.
Yeah. So that is. Yeah, I mean that's what he posted, and it supposedly, like I said, I know like Wrestle Talk uses them a lot. Sean guy for a lot of their news, and if it's legit, then that's what they're saying.
Wow,
that's crazy work. Man, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, Truth.
Thank you, Truth, for your
oh
your
my
entertainment.
God,
Man.
isn't that crazy work? What is that? And I guess it would make sense now if you look at it a little bit, having him go up against Cena here, and having that match maybe
which makes sense.
And maybe it makes a little bit more sense. So boo. I hate to put a damper on the podcast, y'all, but it's hard not to talk about the breaking news and wrestling when we're on live. That's crazy.
So WWE really is letting go like any older talent except John Cena.
Or Orton. So that's wild. I mean, but Truth's been there since like 2008.
Yeah.
Like 9. He's been there for a long time.
He's been there since like Naomi and Jimmy and Jey Uso and all that. So.
When he came back. So like he's been there and then that's the previous stint he was there for like a couple years. So that's a tough one right there. That's tough.
All right.
Dang.
Well, let's go ahead and
I know, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't mean to put in a damper.
You should have told me that at the end of the show.
No, man. Look, it was happening right now. I'm like, yo, I was when the Prince was talking, I'm sitting here looking like that can't be real. I'm over here trying to research it. I'm like, no. But he posted it on all his platforms, and supposedly that's the case. So, yeah. Boo.
Yeah, man, that's terrible.
Not a fan.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the next, the best part of the end of the week before we find out this news that happened today, and let's go ahead and talk about Friday Night SmackDown, baby. Trying to use the beat to get me back up in spirits. I mean, I'm a little down, bro.
That's messed up. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, it's crazy. It's
crazy.
Yeah, I'm just looking through to make sure, y'all. It's just I'm peeking at different people, and people are quick at this too. Like, and we're talking about they're already posting greatest memories of R-Truth. Like, this has only been 20 minutes, so people are on point.
I'm confused because it says he's released, but then it says that he's going to finish out the rest of his contract. So how long is that? Like,
so,
is he just done right now? Or?
But I mean, maybe his contract expired because I think a lot of their contracts are like I think they expire on June the 1st. So maybe he already knew and he just waited to do it. I think, yeah.
So maybe he has like 90 days, maybe.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
So Friday. I'm sorry. Yesterday was couple days ago was going to be our last time seeing Truth, pretty much.
Right.
The match he just had.
And that's what I'm assuming. But like I said, it doesn't say when his contract releases. But I would assume that I'm assuming it happened today. So maybe he already knew the release was coming. And he just, went from there. So
It's ridiculous.
TK trash.
That's just crazy. I mean, I just feel like y'all gonna get rid of Truth when you know how much he does, like how entertaining he is.
The crowd loves him.
They love Truth.
Yeah.
Even if he's not wrestling, you could just have him on the mic or backstage doing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be entertaining. I don't know.
I just need a proper
reason.
I needed even at that, I just need him to get a proper send off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would have been great. And maybe he just didn't want it that way. It would have been great as fans to kind of be like, hey, this is my last ride. Like, look, Cena gets that. I know Cena's 17-time champion, but Truth has entertained us for years.
Yeah.
I mean, we talking about always made us laugh, always entertained us. So like, I feel like
title.
He deserved, right? He made that title. Like,
yeah.
Nobody thinks of it. That's his title. Like, that's the
his.
Raw Truth title. Forget to call it 24/7. It's the R-Truth title.
R-Truth, man.
That's crazy.
I
just wish I knew when it hit expired, but I'm assuming it's today. Because it's just they're not saying when. I mean, if we see him on TV, then maybe we got a little bit longer. But the way he worded it makes it seem like he's not coming back. Like,
I hope we get at least another week or two.
One segment, even if it's just one segment, him to come out there and get some love. Yeah. Because if they do it, that pop's going to be insane. Pop's going to be insane.
It don't matter what city he's in, they're going to
bro.
for Truth, bro.
I feel like you lost a friend. I don't like that. It's crazy. I was like, bro, like, and I know, look, he's still alive and well, but it's just weird. It's just
because we're so used to seeing him.
The last time that somebody got released and I was just generally pissed was Bray Wyatt. And that was the last time that I felt it like, this is the dumbest move I've ever, like, I was shocked by it. And I was just like, that was the last time. So this one is right up there. And I know Truth has been in the game a long time, but still, it's just, and he's 54. We understand that. But, let's give him the proper send off, man.
I hope they got something in the works for him. Like I said, they got, they may have to release him, let him do his 90-day thing, then they can bring him back under a new contract where he does something backstage. Right. Because what's my man from they used to partner with Chad Gable. I can't think of his name right now. It's killing me.
Jason Jordan.
Jordan. He's we catch him all the time out running out to break up fights and stuff like that. So he's doing stuff, behind the scenes. They got to have something for R-Truth behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's no way y'all just.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Now we're good. Like, come on.
I know there's got to be more. Unless,
right, I'm sorry.
Unless he just wants to be away from it, and that's
and that too. I mean, he's been doing it for years, and that could be, he could just want some time away, before he comes back and does any of that.
Yeah,
WWE gonna take a hit for this one, man.
Yeah, they took a couple of hits, but
and the crazy week continues.
I'm telling you, because we kicked off this episode of SmackDown with Bianca, the EST. They in Knoxville. Yeah, Bianca.
Damn it, Wade Barrett. I love Wade Barrett though.
Me too.
Bianca. She comes out. She's out here. It's a hometown, home crowd. That's the whole Tennessee thing. They go crazy. But who comes out? The woman that you need to proceed with caution. Look, Naomi comes out. She says, Bianca, I'm so glad that you're finally here. I'm so glad we can finally talk about some stuff. And then she says, I came to your house to see you. Well, to your parents' house.
Oh.
And wasn't nobody there.
I don't want to part of that.
By the way, what you mean ain't nobody there? And she said she went in the house. Nobody was up in there. Look at Bianca. Bianca's like, what?
Lock your doors,
nobody was in the house. And she went in the house. Looked at the coffee table. Seen the picture of her and Bianca. And she said she's seen the picture of Bianca and just she seemed so happy. She seemed so joyful. She said it reminded her of when they were tag team champions together. And then she also said to Bianca, well, Bianca said to her, like, if you ever come across my family, I'll do worse to you than what Jay did. And Naomi, oh man, almost starts to chuckle and says, it would be a shame if you and your mother are in a wheelchair. And just did
Crazy
this
work.
real sadistic laugh. And I said, ooh, Naomi, we're proceeding with caution for real. I love it. I love it. But who comes out? Jay. Jay Cargill. Man, comes and pulls the attack, tries to beat the hell out of Naomi. Then Nia Jax comes on. Then we're starting off the triple threat match, the qualifier match for the Money in the Bank. Who gets the dub? The woman that you need to proceed with caution. That girl Naomi gets the dub. And now she's punching her ticket for Money in the Bank. Then we flash forward to literally the truth. We was just talking about this man. They come out. It's the bloodline 2.0. We see Solo. We see Jeff Cobbs. I'm not calling him JC Mateo. Y'all can keep that. And we see the man with the magic boot, the Simone werewolf, the big blood, Jacob Fatu himself back there, right? And they're talking, right? And R-Truth comes around and he said, I've never seen this dude before. Man, y'all so big boned. And he said he wanted to teach Jeff Cobbs a lesson.
Y'all so big boned.
Y'all big boned. So he told Jeff Cobbs that he wants to teach him a lesson in the ring. So then they go out. Match starts. And Jeff Cobbs gets the dub on Archer.
In his final match, crazy work.
Crazy.
That's crazy work.
But
Now
then they
I
tried to
gave-
attack him and
Now Woody Allen.
Now I want to go back and watch the promo to see if True dropped the bomb in there low key and didn't tell it. You know what? Whatever.
maybe could have been.
I'm sorry, Eric. Continue.
You good. Because Jimmy Uso comes out and he comes to save R-Truth. But Jeff Cobbs comes behind him. And now they're both looking pretty stumbled. But then we flash forward to the tag team division. Everybody's coming out. They saying this enough. First of all, I ain't gonna lie. Tez comes out, Doss comes out. Tez talks about, how he loves Tennessee and how he loves the person that's from Tennessee. Of course, we know he's talking about Bianca. Come on now. Well, I got that. Come on, y'all be matching the same color. I love it. Love black love. Gotta love it. They say black love, black essence. That's what they be calling it. So, Montez is out there. They talking their stuff. But then, Fraxium. Then, Motor City Machine Guns. Then, comes DIY and Candice LeRae. And then, who comes out? Damn it, they come out again. The Wyatt Six. They come out and they clean house on the tag team division again. Second week in a row. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like this should have been a one and done, and then y'all just caused havoc on everybody. But hey, I ain't the one with the pen. Then we flash forward to Naomi telling Tiffy time it's about to be up. Telling her that she will be cashing in that Money on the Bank on her when she wants, how she wants. And she also said every time when she had a main title, she was the one that was always in the way.
What's that dude doing in the back, sitting on his phone on the left? Look, you see that guy just sitting back there chilling? Man, back there chilling. He said, "Hey, man, you on TV, huh?"
He got
okay.
Oh, all right. Then we flash forward to actually a really great thing that was going on with this match here. So how it started. Ethan Page comes out. Now he's on actual, that was crazy. He had the North American champion, Ethan Page, on SmackDown on commentary, watching Ray Phoenix. And of course, the man that gets bouncy, the young OG, man. Look, the crowd went crazy for him. They popped for him. They loved the moves that he did. Unfortunately, he took the pin, which is okay. It's the young OG. Young. They got a lot of time. They got a lot of things to develop. They got a lot of things going on. Takes the pin, Los Garza. Now, Los Garza hasn't had a W in God knows how long. But the first W y'all get is over the young OG. I don't know how I feel about that. I get it. Then we flash forward to, something that was, that was okay. Selena Vega going up against Elba Fire. And honestly, this was a good match. It was, Zelina did what she had to do. I think Chelsea Green had the look. That was great. Good match overall. Nothing too crazy. They're still extending the storyline. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all can kind of end this. Y'all got to do something with this. I don't know. Then we flash forward to Damian Priest comes out, cuts a promo. He says that he's done with Damian. He's done with Drew McIntyre. He says that he's done with that whole thing. He says that it's been a year since him and Drew's had their whole feud, and he's closed the door the same way he did at Saturday Night's main event at the Steel Cage, and he left it behind him. So he cut the promo. Calls out Jacob Fatu, the man with the magic boot. Now, they had a respectable stare down. Now, if you ask me, this is East Coast versus West Coast right here. We got a New Yorker versus Oakland, Oakland's California native right here. This is going to be good. You want to talk about promo work? Oh, these two are going to cook. And who's going to make that whole situation better? Come on, man. You know, the man on the right, the man with the magic boot, the big blood, Simone Werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then we flash forward to the triple threat match. That was the qualifying match with Andrade, Mello, and Jacob Fatu. Now, Jacob Fatu did not win this match because Solo and Jeff Cobbs interfered trying to help. Jacob said he don't need that. Then to the point where, you know, Jacob Fatu really had to crash out. I ain't gonna lie, this was a real crash out. Better than, you know, we seen my man Trick. But Andrade is now pushing his ticket for that Money in the Bank slot. Then we flash forward to Cody coming out, declaring and talking about all this stuff about John Cena. Tag team partner. He brings out Jey Uso. Crowd's going crazy. They eating it up. Then John Cena comes out. He's saying how Jey Uso and Cody are John Cena wannabes. Cody wants the fame. Jay needs the money. I'm like, yo, you're wilding, bro. That's crazy. You calling these men broke on stage is crazy. Then he brings out Logan Paul. He says Logan Paul is the best thing in wrestling. He says Logan Paul is what's carrying this company. He said Logan Paul is doing it better than a lot of the wrestlers that are on the roster now. Says what they want to say. All right. John Cena and Logan Paul try to attack Jey Uso and Cody. Don't work the way they thought. They hit both of them with Cody, okay? Y'all know it's a Cody cutter with a 3D. That's what they call it. The Cody, okay? And honestly, it ends up with Cody and Jay holding the titles. And this is the finish right here. Oh, man. I'll tell you. SmackDown was interesting. I enjoyed it. They cooked. This was truly 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. Now, honestly, I think there's a few things I can take away from this episode of SmackDown. First thing, gotta talk about my girl Bianca, the EST, Naomi. I love what they're doing with them. Again, now I wish they would have showed Naomi like a video of Naomi going in the house and y'all would have cooked that. Y'all would have cooked. And I know y'all would have let her go into the house anyway. And by the way, Naomi's been trolling. Okay, I don't know if people have seen on Twitter, but when it was Montez's birthday, okay, Bianca posts a video. She posted a video of Montez, okay, getting his birthday cake, right? Everybody's sharing it. Happy birthday. Oh, yeah. Then Naomi tweets it and says, hey, Montez, can I come through? Y'all are crazy. Naomi, legitimately, proceed with caution. That is crazy work. This is top tier trolling that Naomi's really been doing. Okay? This is probably up there with Drew. I'm putting it up there. Another thing. Okay, I can't wait to see when Bianca comes back. I really got to see what they're going to cook with that. That's going to be something special. But Naomi, probably going to be my pick for that Money in the Bank. Another thing, I love what Jacob Fatu did, man. Trick. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. When you was crash out Trick, you should have took some lessons from the man with the magic boot, the Simone Werewolf. You see how Jacob crashed out? That's a real crash out. Flip tables. Toss trash cans through a whole roof. See, a whole row of cups, not just 1, 2, 3. I need my title. I need my title. The whole row, then the whole table, then the whole trash can. That's how you crash out. And then he said, I don't need y'all damn help. Hell. I said, Jacob, you're right. You don't need them. They need you. Jacob was killing it, man. I love what he did. And then honestly, I really think they are really going to do something with that Damian Priest and Jacob Fatu promo. When those two start talking, don't give them no script. Just give them the mic and let them talk. Let them be there. Let them say what they want to say. Let them say they lingos. Let Damian Priest say all his New York stuff. I want to hear it. Okay? Let Jacob, he already been giving y'all West Coast stuff. Jacob been telling y'all the West Coast. Y'all down, come on. It's all West Coast stuff. All gas, no brakes with it. This is West Coast. Let him do what he want to do. Let them boys cook. They gonna give you something great. And I think they really got some of that. But you know, this whole thing with Cody, John Cena, and Logan Paul and Jey Uso, what? I don't know what y'all thinking with this, man. I just don't like the fact that you got two of your major champions in a tag team match and Money in the Bank. I'm really concerned, and it makes me wonder if somebody's gonna get. I feel like somebody's gonna get that. Somebody's gonna get a cash in. I don't know. It feels like when you have two champions, it's like maybe somebody gets a cash in. And again, now if Seth was to get that cash in. Crazy theory I'm throwing out here. I'm throwing this out. It is insane. But imagine tag team match is over. Right? Seth with the Vision comes out, beats the hell out of John, beats the hell out of Logan, beats the hell out of Cody, beats the hell out of Jay, and now he cashes it in. You imagine he drops Jay and John on top of each other, pins them both, has both titles, and now Seth is the man.
Oh
that is
God.
really true of the Visionary. You imagine that?
That would be crazy.
That means
that would be crazy. But man, you talking about the shock factor?
Insane.
Yeah.
That would go up. That's just a crazy thing I thought about earlier. And I don't know, man. It just feels like somebody's gonna get cash. Somebody's gonna cash in that Money in the Bank either Sunday or that Monday. I could be wrong, but it's like when you got the tag team match going on, and then you got Jey Uso with that title match the next night. I'm very concerned, and it's against Gunther. So to go up against somebody that you know is going to put you through it, 9 times out of 10. That's I just keep saying it, man. But overall, love what they did. Some people didn't like the fact that Melo didn't win the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Hey, Melo still got time. Melo's still doing what he's doing. I ain't gonna lie. This whole thing with him and the Miz, we got to do something with him. I need Melo to have something more than this chain, bro. That joint look crazy on him, just holding that Andre the Giant chain on it. Yeah, you know. So they gotta do something with Melo, man. But yeah, again, y'all cooked. If that is R-Truth's last match, that's crazy. But we will see. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, overall, man, let's just keep this nice and short and sweet. I thought SmackDown was a good show. My highlight of the week from SmackDown was the work that Naomi did in the middle of the ring, the range of emotions that she was able to go through. I mean, I don't know how if people realize probably how difficult that is to be in this character that she's in right now, where she's gone from being just cynical to being emotional, crying, to back to being cynical, like all this range, and it's so good, and it's all making sense, and it's just all perfect for her character, and she's doing a great job with it. And so I really hope this pays off for Naomi with a Money in the Bank win. That way, she can have her, caution in the briefcase, and and I hope it pays off with her wearing some type of gold before the next year is out. So. Shout out to Naomi and the work that she's doing. It's phenomenal. Love to see it. Love to see people that are that good in their craft. And yeah, it's really good. SmackDown overall, like I said, was good. Nothing to complain about for the most part. I mean, we already know we got the tag team match for Money in the Bank between pretty much some of our biggest players, or most of our biggest players. If you don't consider Logan Paul a big player, but but yeah, they delivered on SmackDown. It's gonna be good. I think this week's SmackDown is gonna be even better, especially with the final contestant for the Money in the Bank for the women's division. Because I'm excited to see, or would like to see how they go about having La Primera, win this match on next Friday.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Exclusive. What you think, man? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, look, SmackDown was solid. I really enjoyed, SmackDown once again. Like I said, they've been good shows. They haven't been like a really bad show in a while. Probably maybe pre-Mania before we had bad shows, really, or maybe a bad show here and there. They've been either like great, excuse me, they either been really good shows or they've been like decent shows throughout. Now, for me, I seeing Bianca come back was cool. I was wondering how they were going to bring her back. And I didn't realize she had hurt her hand. I didn't know that's the reason why she was out. I thought they were just giving her a break
from Mania. Yeah,
yeah. I thought they were just giving her a break, but now learning that does change things a little bit. But I thought that she was just, I thought that she was just taking a break. But so now I'm intrigued to see where they go with this. What does Bianca really play in this? Obviously, she's upset with Naomi. There's still some weird tension between her and Jade, and neither one of them have kind of talked about it. But the last couple of times that they've seen each other, they just stared. And Bianca always kind of looks like, I don't know what to say. Like she wants to apologize. That's the look that she gives. And Jade just looks like she's been betrayed. That's the look that she always gets, like not even betrayed, but she's disappointed in her for not doing more. I feel like when they do come together, they're gonna be like, where were you? I needed you. You weren't there. You were hanging with the girl, playing tag team champions with our titles with some girl that is obviously crazy. Like I feel like that's how that kind of correlates, and maybe Jade, takes it out on her at some point. But I think this is another storyline that they're starting to develop. Now they've done a really good job overall with the storyline. If you really think about it, this storyline started technically at the Rumble before last, when they had that moment in the ring where Bianca and Jay just stared at each other, did the little yeah, and it's been going on since then. And so from that point up until now, this has been a slow developing story, but it's been brilliant. Then they threw Naomi in the mix when they all had that match at WrestleMania. And so they expanded the storyline just a little bit. So they've done a really good job of making this a good long-term storytelling, situation with that. And they've done a good job. The only thing that's missing for me at some point is a title being involved and them going for that. I think that's going to be the icing on the cake for that rivalry. I know we've already talked about R-Truth, but I just want to say that if this is all true, and it does seem to be that way, I hate that this is the way it ends. I need R-Truth to have a proper goodbye. So hopefully they do give that to us. So just shout out to R-Truth. In the tag team division, what happened to Pretty Deadly, man? Like they just said, Fraxum, you're going to come in and take the spot. Pretty Deadly, just gone.
Put them on Raw, man.
They were in the mix, and now you've heard nothing. Like, I don't know how they fell from grace, because I felt like they were that mix. And they've got a lot of great tag teams on SmackDown. They're just gone. So now the Wyatt Six are in the mix. And I'm guessing they're gonna have New Day rules or Firebird or Freebird rules where anybody could be the tag team champions. That's what I guess that's starting to feel like within the group. So I just very intrigued on where they go with the tag team division, but I'd like to see Pretty Deadly at least get back in the mix or go to Raw. Other than that, I enjoy SmackDown for the most part. Still not a fan of this tag team match they're going to have with the champions in there. But I do agree that I feel like there's a cash in coming in during that championship match, or an attempt or something in that range. So maybe an attempt to make people feel like it's going to happen. And maybe the person that with the Money Bank targets the next person. I don't know. But that's kind of what I saw. I guess I overall enjoyed SmackDown. And, I'm good with I think I'm good with Naomi winning on her end. I was very excited to see Naomi get the win. I think she's going to win Money in the Bank. Let's go, Naomi.
Hey, That caution in the bank with the caution tape around it,
Yeah,
boy. That's gonna be good.
it's gonna duct tape that sucker around there. Boy.
Hey, before we wrap, I do want to say one thing because I know we didn't get to touch on it. We haven't touched on it. But AEW, I'm seeing you. Y'all actually have my promo of the week, which is the promo with Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah.
That segment was absolute peak cinema. It was amazing to see those two ladies in the ring. Some of the emotion that was there, I think it was getting to Mercedes a little bit because she had to turn away, a little bit in the ring while doing the promo because Tony Storm's talking about like just their adventure through the Indies to get to where they are now. You know, their time in WWE where they felt like maybe they weren't wanted. And I'm not gonna say wanted, but however she phrased it, they weren't it, and how they had to they found themselves in AEW, and I think that kind of struck a nerve or a chord with Mercedes Moné. But that segment was A1, and I absolutely loved. I mean, we already talked about timeless Tony Storm being the best female wrestler in the game right now. But I loved her statement to Mercedes of, you have all those championships, so you need all those championships to make you feel, complete. I only need one.
Just need one. I was like, oh.
Beautifully done.
And
that's
then
my girl.
She lays down like a whole darling, and she just does, yeah.
That's the only.
She's amazing.
It's the only match I care about.
Me too.
I don't hate the other. There's gonna be some great matches on that card. That's the one I care about.
Yeah.
We got probably
they told that story already.
We're probably the two best women in the world.
Take my money.
Yeah, we got two of the best women in the world going at it. You know how I feel about Toni Storm. Toni Storm to me is the best women's wrestler in the world. She's got the complete package.
Come on, bro.
I mean, she's got everything. She can talk. She can go in the ring. She can play different characters. She does it all. She can be a bad guy. She can be a heel. She can be a face. Whatever she's selling, I'm believing.
Yeah,
that's what Toni Storm does. And that's that's how I felt about. So I felt about Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, or vice versa. That's how I felt about her. Like, she to me has always been the Shawn Michaels of women's wrestling. Mm-hmm. When she's going, she can make anybody look great in the ring, and I think that's important because, like, if she needs to sell this person to be whatever, she can do that. And I know lately a lot of people give her grief and they're calling, Monet, Hogan and all that stuff because she has creative control in her contract and she decides if she wants to win or lose, and she hasn't lost yet. So it does look bad on her for that. I got a feeling she does lose though, to try to build up something more and kind of go from there. I think that this is just the first of many. I would
hope so, because remember we thought that same thing with Mercedes and Britt Baker. And we see
and now Britt Baker, we don't even hear from her anymore. I think maybe WWE's in the future there, but that'll be one that I'm got my ear on the ground for to see if that happens at some point. But yeah, hey, I cannot wait. Yep, my girl Toni Storm is the best, baby. Yeah. That's my boo. That's my boo.
Yeah. That's my segment of the week. Yeah, that was my favorite of the week.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites, and I think one of my other favorites. Of course, I'm gonna talk about it because that man is gold. MJF cutting that promo with the Hurt Syndicate, man. Well, I say, come on, MJF.
Hey, that promo was nice though. I mean, my favorite part of it though was watching MVP just smile, just because MVP was just smiling at MJF like a power pop. Like you go ahead and tell him, young man. But you know what? I was very skeptical at first that if he would work with that group. That promo changed every thought I had in my mind. I said, "Oh, excuse my language." I was like, "That shit fire." Yeah. I said, "Man." I said, "Okay." So I would say that's probably the next best thing that I'm looking forward to see how that continues to play out. And I'm finally glad that AEW is figuring it out. Mm-hmm. It may not still be 100% there, but they've got stuff that's watchable now that I'm like, all right, I'm invested in. Hangman Page coming back and trying to go for glory. Like, it's okay. I'm investing in that. Swerve being Swerve. It's all starting to kind of like, okay.
Well, Oscar and everybody.
Yeah. My girl,
the Death Riders.
My girl, Haley Cameron. That's my girl right there. She's a straight fool. She's a straight fool.
She's so entertaining, bro. Like,
she would thrive in WWE. Like, she would be so over it. It would be insane if that ever happens. And then of course we're here. Mariah May will soon be on the WWE. So I'm intrigued if they put her in NXT right off the. I think she's going to be great once she does go there. Like, she has a chance to be like really good. AEW, shout out.
AEW, y'all, man. Y'all did y'all thing this week too, man. Y'all been doing your thing. Y'all killed it on Double or Nothing, by the way. Great show. So we definitely gotta give that credit. But as always, please make sure y'all follow us on all of our social medias. Okay, look, I tell y'all this all the time. Just do it like Nike. All right?
I tell you this all the time.
And thank you. We hit it. We finally hit the first 100. So we keep it going.
Keep it going, man. Just remember, y'all follow us on a Facebook. We on that. Instagram. We on that. X. We on that. TikTok. We on that too. And that's on. We almost got 190, almost 200 followers on there. So make sure y'all follow us on that as well.
Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all in there, man. Come on now. Come on now. But we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw. With the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, Dirty Dom, El Grande Americano. And we talked about some of the questionable things that happened with NXT with JC James, Ethan Page, La Primera. Questionable. Very questionable. And of course, we talked about some of the great things with SmackDown, with the man with the magic book. Okay. With Naomi. Okay. Proceeding with caution. And of course, with, Cody. Cena, Jane, and Logan. Man, you know how that goes. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive, and the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, and that's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are. Come on now. Because we are the Exclusive Knights, and all we do is ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be. To ensure that we keep your nights great, and to make sure that your nights will never
be the
same. That's true.